Hello and welcome to episode 16 of the Blue Water Running Podcast. I'm your host, Maren, and this podcast features and celebrates the achievements of high school and collegiate cross-country and track and field athletes from the Blue Water area of Michigan. On today's episode, we will be chatting with Hannah Fisher, a 2022 Marysville High School graduate and a current member of the Golden Grizzlies track and field squad at Oakland University. Hannah was an accomplished runner at Marysville, earning all-state status numerous times. As a junior, she finished 7th in the 800 meters at the Division II state meet, running 2 minutes, 19 seconds, and crushing her personal best by over 8 seconds. She also placed 6th with her 4x200 relay and 4th with her 4x400 relay team, including teammate 400-meter state champ Reese Powers. Hannah saw huge improvements in her 1,600-meter times during her senior year, running 5 minutes, 2 seconds, and 2:20 in the 800. She was also a state qualifier in cross country, running a 5K best of 19:56 and winning several MAC jamborees and invitationals. Hannah has translated her middle distance success onto the track at the collegiate level for Oakland, running bests of 2:14 in the 800, 4:37 in the 1,500, and 4:05 in the 4x4 relay. She is also dedicated to improving her craft in many facets, including nutrition, weightlifting, and she shares her training with others via Instagram. All right. Well, Hannah, thank you for joining me today on the Blue Water Running Podcast.
Of course, I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. Well, you're approximately halfway through your collegiate career, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So talk to us a little bit about what your favorite experience or experiences have been so far as a collegiate athlete.
I think that the aspect of like traveling, going far away, not just staying in the Blue Water area, which we did a lot at Marysville. We never really went far. The farthest we went was for track states, which was still right in Michigan. So getting to like have that experience of going to different like places, going to Louisville, going to like just like out of the state even, it's really cool and you meet a lot of people and you see people from the area still, which is cool when you travel far away to still see like faces you know and run against people you know, but also not knowing every single person you're racing against is really cool and it takes a lot of pressure off, I think.
Do you normally drive or do you fly?
Our team takes a van or a charter bus, which is not fun when you're going to like North Carolina and it's a 15-hour bus ride the day before a meet, but we work with what we've got and it's still fun. It's fun experience and you have teammates and friends all around, so the time passes, but it's hard on the legs.
Yeah, you get to know your teammates very well in a van over many hours.
Oh yeah.
Well, for you, what do you think has been the most challenging adjustment as you've come from high school running and moved into collegiate competition? And I believe you only ran your junior and senior years of high school. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, I actually ran cross country my sophomore year too,
Okay,
but I started track my junior and senior year because I played softball in the spring.
gotcha. Okay, so as you've gone from high school to college, what do you think you've found to be challenging to adjust to?
I think that the most challenging part is, well, obviously the workouts get a lot more intense and a lot more serious, which is like a little bit more stressful, but with time you get used to it. And then definitely the like environment of the races is completely different. Like when you're in high school, you kind of race a ton. It's like 3 times a week, 4 events a meet, it's crazy like that, but it definitely dials back a lot in college, but the stakes go up so much more for each meet and it's really like nerve-wracking because you know like, oh, this is my only opportunity like this week to race or maybe even in a month to race because the travel squad gets smaller. So I think that was a huge challenge for me at first is just the pressure of each meet, like knowing I need to perform my absolute best in order to like make the travel team for the next meet. That was just like a really big difference and a little bit hard, but get used to it with time.
Do you find that you feel better racing less than you did in high school?
Yeah, it's definitely less of a toll on the body because you also aren't running like I said like 4 events. Um it's a lot more like stress, like mental stress, but physically I definitely feel much more recovered each time I go to race, unless I'm like doubling back to back 2 days. But aside from that, I feel a lot better. It just takes a lot more mental stamina, I would say.
So tell us what a typical week in your training looks like. Right now, you're in summer, so a little different than when you're on campus, I'm assuming. But
Yeah.
what kind of workouts do you consistently focus on? How much would you spend training in a week? What are your mileage totals? Anything you want to tell us about a typical week for you?
Yeah, so in the summer, I don't run cross country, so I'm just trying to build that base. I run anywhere from like 35 to 45. I'm going to get up to 55 miles soon, which is a lot for a mid-D runner, but having that cross country base in high school, I can handle the more miles. It's pretty chill in the summer for me. I don't really do any speed training. Um, I just run my miles and I take it as easy as possible, keep my heart rate low. But when we come back in fall, it amps up quite a bit. We're doing about three speed, like intense workouts a week, and then two or three easy runs, and then a long run. The long run for me is anywhere from like 10, I think I get up to 13 miles. So it's a lot, but you get more time to recover, and I get all summer to just focus on that base, which is nice, but still a lot of miles, so it's good.
What do you primarily run? Do you do the 800 and the 1500? Are those your main events?
Yes, I'm a mid-D runner, so I've only ever raced the 800, the 1500, and then indoor the mile, which not a big fan of the indoor
Mm.
mile. I'd much rather race the 800. Too many laps for me to count in there. But I love the 1500 outdoor. I think that's my favorite, I'm pretty sure. Like, depends on the day, obviously. You know how it is with racing, but
Right.
I'd say 1500.
Have you given any thought to the 600 or the 1000 indoors?
We don't have that's like Big Ten, I think,
Okay.
only.
Okay.
We do like if we go somewhere far, sometimes they have that option. I would love to race a 600. I did a time trial and it went really well last fall. So I think this year, hopefully, if that opportunity comes, I would absolutely love to run a 600. Maybe a 1K too. I don't know how that would be. I feel like I'd just be sprinting for 1K, which sounds kind of dreadful, but maybe.
Well, you post a lot on Instagram about your weight workouts, and I feel like this aspect of training, particularly for female athletes, is often overlooked, and definitely so by distance runners. A lot of distance runners think the weight room is only for the sprinters, or the field event athletes. So, talk to us about how you first got into lifting consistently. What benefits have you seen, and maybe what you'd recommend to someone who has not yet started?
Yeah, I think that the weight room is super important just for like power and speed and just feeling like strong. I first started lifting, I think I got my gym membership when I was 14. So it's been a while. At first, I had no idea what I was doing. I just kind of went, looked around, was really scared. But as time went on, as I got more comfortable, I started like designing my own workouts, and I usually I try to only lift about 4 to 5 times a week because it does take a toll with like running so much, but it's definitely super, super important. Even for distance runners, like I try to put my team on the weight room. I'm like, come on, guys. Like, I think that being in the weight room, I haven't got like a bone injury or like a stress fracture yet in college, which is pretty unheard of. Um, and I like credit that all to like having a strong like base in the weight room. It helps so much just like having that like strength base. I don't know like how to explain it, but it makes such a big difference, and you don't get injured as much, and you just like are more powerful, and I 100% recommend it to any runner to start out. Like, look up a YouTube video. There's so much out there. You can learn so much just from like Instagram, YouTube, whatever, and just like go for it because it'll help you so much, is my advice.
Yeah, that's very good advice. And then one day, as you age and hit middle age, which is where I'm at, the big recommendation for women is to lift heavy because you start losing your bone mass as you age, and that keeps you from, getting fractures from osteoporosis or anything like that. So it's a lifelong benefit if you can be a healthy lifter and within reason and what's best for your body. So good advice.
100%.
All right. You also like to post delicious food that you're eating. So we
Um,
know, yeah, we know food is important. It's fuel. Um, Sadly, there is a lot of disordered eating in running, especially distance running. And the conversation, I feel like, is finally moving in the right direction to focus on how important food is and how healthy and well you can be if you are looking at food with an appropriate relationship. So, especially among young girls and young women, um, tell us about how you've decided to focus positively on food, what you focus on nutritionally. I mean, do you just eat whatever you feel like eating? Do you try to hit all the food groups? Just kind of tell us what your mindset is regarding food, what some of your go-to meals are, and then what helps keep you fueled.
yeah, so definitely fuel. Food is fuel for sure. Um, it kind of breaks my heart to see all these girls that go through eating disorders throughout college. They think the lighter the faster, but like as we've been proven many, many times, that's so not true.
Mhm.
I'm my fastest, probably at my heaviest. I have more muscle mass than ever, and I feel my best. I try to eat a pretty high protein diet since I'm lifting and running. Um, as a younger person, I think runners are just told calories are calories, like it's fine, but that's just not the truth at all. You you don't need to take it so seriously, but definitely hitting those like micronutrient and macronutrients, like understanding and having like a general idea of what you're putting into your body will just make all the difference in your training. Some of my go-to meals, I love a good oatmeal bowl. Um, Add some like nut butter, some protein powder, some fruits, and it's really good. A lot of people don't like oatmeal, but I love it. And then I eat a lot of carbs, obviously, because as you know, runners need carbs. I eat a lot of sourdough bread. I find it really easy to digest. And then I try to eat a lot of fruit and vegetables. A big fan of smoothie bowls. They're quick and easy and so good. Like it's a dessert, honestly.
Yeah, I agree. Those are one of my
Yes,
favorites.
they're so good. I love a good smoothie bowl. And then like not taking it so seriously, like I said, like I still have ice cream, probably at school 3 times a week in the dining hall. Like you still can enjoy your life. Like you don't need to eat so strict, but knowing what you're putting in definitely will just improve your performance, your mental performance, just everything. And eating enough, just like eat when you're hungry. And I think that's my best advice is to not restrict at all.
Right.
Like I not sitting there and eating all day every day, but like just like learning your hunger cues, eating when you're hungry, and not being worried about like, oh, like am I putting on too much muscle or whatever is my biggest advice, I think.
So I heard a great analogy. It was kind of comparable to the type of vehicle you drive. So if you had a Lamborghini or, a very expensive sports car, you would probably put premium fuel into it because it's made to go very fast. And if you had, a junky old minivan like me, you would not care. You'd just throw some unleaded gas in there. And both cars take gasoline, but what you put in is what you get out. So, food is food, but if you're focusing on good nutrients and high protein or good quality calories, it is going to give you a slight edge over somebody that, eats Fritos and Taco Bell 24/7.
Yes.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. So, yes, having a good balance, enjoying your treats and enjoying your sweets and enjoying junk food too, but balancing that with the healthy things your body needs to perform. So, great,
Yes.
great mindset. What advice would you give a high school athlete who maybe is looking to improve? Maybe they want to take their running to the next level. Maybe they're looking towards collegiate visits or perhaps running at that level once they graduate. What would you say to them to give them a little advice to boost it to the next level?
Yeah, I would just not take it again, like don't take it so seriously. As a runner, I think that there are so many collegiate opportunities, whether it's a junior college or D1. Like there's so many opportunities. Colleges are always looking for runners because they know that they're like great all around athletes. And like if you're willing to run in college, you obviously already have some mental endurance because running is so taxing. Just put yourself out there, reach out. I really didn't even know I wanted to run collegiately until senior year. And if you just reach out to the coaches, I mean, obviously you have to have somewhat like of an experience running. You need to like have some good times, but that's not everything. Like coaches are always looking at potential, and if you're willing to be coached, you're willing to work hard, um, there's probably an opportunity out there for you to run. You just need to put yourself out there and just reach out is like the best thing you could do.
What are some of your goals for your next year at Oakland?
I don't like to put like times on it, but I would love to break a school record, probably, hopefully, in the mile. That was my goal last winter. Didn't reach that goal, but I learned how to race a lot better. And then mentally, I just want to like be as tough as possible. Like no excuses when you step on the line. I just want to leave it all out there. I don't think I ever had a race last season where I was like, yep, like that was everything I had. Obviously it was hard no matter what. Like it's hard work, but I want to leave everything out on the track when I get there because I only have 2 years left and it's flying by.
Hmm.
A lot of mental goals this year, and I think that'll make a big difference. Just toughness, grit is the goal.
I have to throw this out. I was at the Frankenmuth Regional. I think you were a senior,
Yeah.
and you and Mary Richmond from Frankenmuth were battling it out in the 1600, and that was an awesome race to watch. And I think you had a huge PR too.
Yeah, I had like
Yeah.
a 7 second PR, I think.
So
Yeah,
that
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 was
was a fun race to watch, and I would say that demonstrated your grit because you hung on for
I tried my
till the
best. Yeah,
line.
I don't know if you saw the finish of that race, but
Uh-huh.
my legs gave out. I just ate it at the end. But yeah, that was definitely one of my better moments, staying tough, hanging on. I knew she was a lot more experienced, even though she was younger, she was better. So my goal was just to hang on. And if I could do that every race, I think I would run some pretty decent times. So I need to channel that younger me back.
Well, I think that was a great example of, like you said, times aren't everything. You can look on paper and say, oh, she ran this fast. But when it comes down to a race and you put it out there, you don't know what could happen if you just try and hang on. And that's exactly what you did.
Yeah, for sure.
What are you studying at Oakland?
Well, it's been a journey. I started off as a business major, and then last year I changed to human resources development. You could say I had no idea what I wanted to do, but now I am settled down into journalism. I want to stick with it, and I would love to be like a news broadcaster, not sports, just news, like Channel 2 or something like that. Um, yeah, I think that would just be the most fun job ever. So hopefully that's what it'll turn out to be.
That's cool. Well, maybe we'll see you on the news one day and say,
Yeah,
oh, she used
hopefully.
to run at Marysville.
Oh
All
yeah.
right. Well, let's get to some fun stuff. What is your favorite track event? And it doesn't have to be the one you run, it could just be anything you enjoy, either yourself competing in or just watching.
I absolutely love to watch the 400 hurdles. I think that that is the most gritty, grueling race probably ever. It's so cool to watch. I love watching my teammates or just anyone, Sydney, of course, compete in that. Like it's awesome. And then to run the 1500, like I said, I think that's a good race. It feels a lot shorter than the mile, but still got that endurance in there.
So you'll be watching the Olympics soon.
Oh yeah, definitely.
My favorite time of 4 years. All right. What is your favorite field event?
Oof, I love them all. I just think that they like the athletes that do them are amazing, but pole vault, I would say, if I had to narrow it down, that one's so cool. They're just so athletic and it's just like what I want to do one day.
It's a very popular answer. Actually, on Sunday, I get to chat with Kenzie. She's a pole vaulter. She used to go to Port Huron Northern and she vaulted in the Olympic trials. So
Wow.
yeah, it's going to be a cool conversation. We haven't had a pole vaulter on yet, and I'm excited to hear what she has to say. So
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah. All right. What's your song that gets you fired up?
Ooh, okay, this is probably not going to be a very popular answer, but I love a good like worship music playlist. It makes me feel just really connected to God before I race. And I think that like it just gets my mind right. I'm not focused on anyone else. I'm just focused on me. But if it wasn't worship music, some Eminem, he just really hypes me up sometimes.
Those are polar opposites.
Yep.
That's funny. After a race, what do you consider to be your favorite thing to eat, like a post-race treat? And it doesn't have to be a dessert, just whatever you like after a race.
Oh, I love a smoothie bowl just at any time, but post-race smoothie bowl, that definitely hits.
Have you ever been to Beyond Juicery?
Oh yeah,
Have you had their acai bowl?
I had
Or
the
I
blue
don't know how you
one.
say it.
Yeah,
Acai.
something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah. I love Pliables. That's right in Rochester. So whenever we have a home meet, I force all my teammates to go with me to Pliables. So good. Oh,
Yeah. That was my favorite. I was in Bloomfield Hills for a work conference and they had one there and I ate it 2 days in a row because it was delicious.
it's so good. It's a good thing.
Yeah. All right. Your favorite movie?
Oh, I love any rom-com. A big Notebook fan, of course, a girly favorite, but any like 1980 to 2000 rom-com, that's just like my favorite thing ever.
So, Sweet Home Alabama?
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
No?
Oh, I'll
That's
add
with,
that to the list. I thought I've seen
yeah.
them all.
No, that's with Reese Witherspoon and Josh Lucas. That's one of my favorites.
Wait, is that the one where he gets ran over by the tractor? Or no?
No,
Oh,
that's when she was young. That's like her first movie.
that one was a good one. I
Yeah,
love that
that's
one.
good too, but that's not so much funny. That's more like
No, not
the
at all. No.
sad romance. Okay, your favorite restaurant?
I I love a good Michigan chicken cherry salad, and I think Anita's or Casey's has really good one, and Casey's breadsticks. Like those are always good.
Hmm. And I am a celiac, so they have gluten-free pizza, which I can eat, which
Oh,
is
that's
a
nice.
big exciting thing for people like me.
Yeah. So good.
All right, the last question I have for you is if you could go for a run anywhere in the world, where would it be?
I don't even know if there's like anywhere to run here, but Hawaii would be awesome. Or anywhere with like a really cool trail. Obviously Oregon, that's every runner's like dream. Or Colorado would be cool. There's so many good places. Anywhere that's not Marysville.
I'm gonna guess there's probably somewhere you can run in Hawaii.
Yeah, then
Just
that's where
guessing.
it would be.
Hmm. It'd be a good choice, especially about February.
Yeah, yes.
Mhm. All right, Hannah. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been a real pleasure to chat with you, and I look forward to seeing what you do next in your career. I think you have a lot more potential that you have yet to reach, and you're going to do amazing things.
Thank you so much.
Once again, thank you so much for tuning into today's Blue Water Running Podcast. I can't wait to feature more cross-country and track and field athletes from the Blue Water area, so stay tuned because it just might be you. If you enjoyed today's podcast, please share, subscribe, and leave a review. You can find the Blue Water Running Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and other major media players. You can also ask Alexa to play the Blue Water Running Podcast. If you have an idea for a great topic or guest you'd like to hear about, feel free to contact me through the website links or show notes. You can follow Blue Water Running on Instagram, X, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. You can also find meet and athlete reports and articles at www.bluewaterrunning.org.